What was the overall feeling going into yesterday's game?
Well, I'm not answering that question to start with, Dan. First, I'm going to say this. I have found out what it takes to get a long-awaited return invite after months off the show, and evidently, it's buying you a very expensive bottle of wine, multiple after-dinner drinks and dinner, and my football team having the worst moment of the decade. So glad to be back under such glorious circumstances, Dan. What was your question? What was my mood?
The dinner didn't have any impact on bringing you back. It was really about the Chiefs dying.
Yeah. You know what? I thought that might have been the case. And shout out to Fritzy, who just really is great at his job. But honestly, I'm not going to try to be ableist in any way, but might just have a little thing off where, I think that CBS was cutting to Mahomes hobbling into the locker room when I got the text. And there was just a cursory, sorry, today's tough for you. Are you available tomorrow? Listen, my mood yesterday was going into the game that if they won, I thought they had a very good chance of making the playoffs because I thought that sports media in general they made the Chiefs' path to playoffs going into yesterday seem very complicated when it wasn't. It was simply the Colts with the grandfather playing quarterback lose at least twice against a brutal schedule, and if the Chiefs win out and the Chargers lose to Denver in Week 18 plus one other game to either Houston or the Cowboys. And I was like, well, all those things are super doable. Once the game got going, when the only reason I am not catatonic today is because to me the Chiefs season ended on the Chargers drive before halftime when they got that touchdown with 40 seconds left, because that was the seventh different distinct instance this season where the Chiefs showed you they're just not a championship caliber team. There have been so many times this year that Chiefs teams of the past stand up and make the big moments. I've compared them to the great tennis player that knows there's only 4 or 5 points that actually will decide this match, and that's when I'll be at my best. And the Chiefs team last year and in years past always were at their best there. This year they were the opposite. So I was resigned to the loss, really, and that even, okay, maybe they'll win this game, but they're not going to go on any type of run. The Patrick injury is obviously devastating for him, for the team. Was that the last moments with he and Kelsey on the field together? I don't know that for sure, but it certainly is on more than on the board. It's probably likely, all of that. But I believe in sports gods, and I believe in that history, repeats itself in sports a lot. And I've said more times than I can count that in year 7, Tom Brady was going for Super Bowl 4, walked onto the field knowing if I win this game, we are the greatest team of all time. And the next year, they lost that game, and the next year he blew out his knee. Year 7, Patrick Mahomes was going for Super Bowl 4, walked onto the field knowing if we win this game, we're the greatest team of all time. And then what I'd been saying is, and he didn't blow out his knee, but they've had the season from hell. And now he also blew out his knee. And so it just is what it is, Dano. I wish I could be more positive, but it sucks. It just really sucks. It's sports. It happens. Packer fans are almost just as sick. Like, Packer fans are sick in a different way today. And so because they don't, I think this somehow feels worse if the Chiefs went into that game 10-3 than 6-7. And that's how Packers fans feel this morning. Like, man, this season is a real chance. But I just feel awful for Patrick and for the guys.
The Chiefs missed the playoffs because
they deserve to. A combination of things, man. It is they the playing in 3 straight Super Bowls and playing in 5 of the last 6 and 7 straight conference championship games, the more than extra season of football that they have played caught up to them to a degree. They were not great. In fact, they were awful at, as I said, those winning moments, those little things that determine so many pro football games. Patrick, for some reason this year, was incredibly shaky on deep passes, which allowed the defense to constrict, and the progression of the young receivers did not happen the way I thought it would. They had no running game other than Patrick whatsoever, and they couldn't get a pass rush. And by the way, the special teams weren't that good. So, like, you add all that up, that's a bad team. And there were moments this year, like when Baltimore looked like a good team, they housed them. When the Lions are a good team, just probably not good enough, they housed them. But for some reason, after the bye, they played poorly in every single game. Even the one game they have won post-bye, the Colts game, they're down 11 in the fourth quarter. Like, it took a miracle to get back in that. They just weren't good enough. Like, this is, shout out to Jim Kelly. This is why it's so hard to make 4 straight Super Bowls, I suppose. And they just weren't able to get over the hump at any point this year.